Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to the science class. Children, our lesson name is Changes Around Us. In Changes Around Us lesson, today we are going to discuss the physical changes that takes place in water. You already know that water exists in three states as solid, liquid and gas. Change of state takes place either by heating or cooling. We know water is in the solid form of ice cube and gaseous state, that means that is vapor. So what are the three states of water? Solid, liquid and gas. And students, water is called universal solvent. Why water is called as a universal solvent? Because water dissolves a wide range of substances. Yes, students, water can dissolve so many substances, so that water is known as the universal solvent. So which one is called as universal solvent? Water. And what is the molecular formula of water? Molecular formula of water is H2O. 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom is present in each molecule of water. So what's the molecular formula of water? H2O. Next we move on. Changes of state. First we discuss melting. In melting process, that solid changed into liquid, and evaporation, that liquid changed into gaseous state, and in condensation process, that a gas changed into liquid, and freezing, that liquid changed into solid. So these are the physical changes. Next we see one example, melting of ice. We know what is the solid form of water? Ice cube. So, what is the meaning of melting? Solid changed into liquid. Here, the ice cube is a solid. It is melting and it can converted into liquid water. So, melting of ice is an example for melting process. So, what is melting? Solid converted into liquid. Next, vaporization. In vaporization process, that liquid can be converted into gaseous state. So what is vaporization? The change of state from liquid to gas is called vaporization. Next we move on, condensation. What is condensation? The change of state from gas to liquid is called condensation. What is condensation? Change of state from gas to liquid is called condensation. For example, formation of clouds are the example for condensation process. Because clouds are the example for a condensation process. When water vapor cools, it turns back into liquid to form clouds in the atmosphere. So, formation of clouds are the example for a condensation process. Here, water vapor cools and it turns back into liquid in the form of clouds. Students, when a lid is placed on a pot or pan of boiling water, we see drops of water on the inside of the lid. Why? Because due to condensation on the cooler lid only we can see the water drops on the inside of the lid. Next, freezing process. In freezing process, that liquid changed into solid. So, the change of state from liquid to solid is called freezing. For example, water into ice is an example for freezing process because here water is liquid in nature and ice is solid in nature. So, here liquid changed into gas. So, It is the example for freezing process. Next, sublimation. In sublimation process, that solid can be directly converted into gaseous state, that is vapor. This process is called sublimation. So what happens in sublimation process? Solid directly converted into gaseous state. For example, naphthalene balls are the examples for sublimation process because that naphthalene balls are directly converted into gaseous state because this is a solid, so that is solid can be directly converted into gaseous state. So this is the example for sublimation process. And another example, camphor. Camphor also a solid and it also directly converted into gaseous state. So children, what is sublimation? Change of state from solid to gas directly is called sublimation. Okay students, so I hope you understood the physical changes that takes place in water. So I ask one question. What happens in sublimation process? Solid converted to gaseous state. What happens in melting process? Solid converted into liquid state. Okay students, so next we see changes and the process name. First, ice into water on heating, that process name is melting because here that is solid changed into liquid. And next, vaporization, that process name is vaporization. Change water into steam. Steam, that means vapor. So that liquid changed into gas, that process name is vaporization. Next process, condensation. Steam, that means vapors changed into water, liquid. So gaseous state changed into liquid. So this process name is condensation. And in freezing, water changed into ice. We know ice is a solid form of water. So here liquid converted into solid. So this is the freezing process. Next we move on, solution. For example, all of you know salt solution. How we prepare salt solution? We mix salt with water. We get salt solution. So what are the components present in this salt solution? Salt and water. So two components present in salt solution. What are the components? Salt and water. We say salt is solute and water is solvent. Why we say salt is solute and water is a solvent? Children, in a solution, which component is present in larger amount by weight is called solvent. In a solution, which component is present in lesser amount by weight is called solute. So, in a salt solution, which component is present in larger amount? Water. Which component is present in lesser amount? Salt. So, salt is called solute and water is called solvent. So, what is solute? In a solution, which component is present in lesser amount? That component is called solute. And what is meant by solvent? In a solution, which component is present in greatest amount by weight? That component is called solvent. Okay students, so I hope you understood today's class. Thank you students.